Welcome back to the We Are For Good podcast. If you caught us Monday, it was a special episode where we told a little bit of our story and we were teasing that something big is coming. And friends, today is the day we're going to unpack the heart, the why, the how, and give you a behind the scenes look at what is happening. And we are so honored. But I mean, you heard this in our voices the first time, but this podcast and the conversations and the community that is around this movement has changed us. Like not just in our ideas or how we think, but actually how we want to move through this world. And this community also taught us a concept called locking arms for impact. If you're actually living out a value alignment and you're stepping into your superpower, the right next step is to look around and figure out who's value aligned that has a superpower that you could lock arms with and you could go so much further together. And that's what this edition is all about, to tell you the news.
I feel like you just teed me up so beautifully, John, because, and we don't want to drag it out anymore. We want to tell you that today We Are For Good is joining the Givebutter family. And together we are going to be building the largest community for change makers, making accessible the best tools, the best content, the best community, and the best ideas. We're going to democratize it together, and we're doing it for you.
And friends, these conversations, while this specifically happened more recently, we've known Max since the early days of We Are For Good, and we saw value alignment really early. So we're so excited today for you to get to know the Max that we know behind the curtain of how this all came to be. Max Friedman is the co-founder and CEO of Givebutter, and he pulled up a chair to the podcast. So Max, it is so good.
Can we freak out? Like,
I mean,
we
yeah.
have been sitting on this for months.
I feel like my reaction
so
wasn't appropriate.
excited.
I'm so excited. Are you kidding me?
Oh my gosh, Max. Hi.
Hello.
So good to have you in the hot seat.
Oh my gosh, it's
Oh
such an
my
honor to be
God.
here. I want to just hug both of you. I want
I
to
know,
hug this
these
community.
mics are-
I know we're a little
yeah.
restricted in our mic setup, but oh my gosh, I'm so happy. I'm so excited. I'm just also floored and honored by everything you built and the opportunity to be a part of it. I mean, oh my gosh, what a privilege. And I also just have to say to the community that you've built and curated and grown and fostered from the ground up. I mean, hearing about in the last episode, you're starting with your list of your friends and your family, and I can relate to that so deeply, like truly from my core, and how we built Givebutter and the values. I mean, all it would take just to pull up your website and look at your values to know that we're family, like from the beginning. And it's a real honor. And going forward, I'm just like so excited to take that to amazing new heights. I mean, everything that you've done and everything that you've built, the reason why we're excited to be a part of it is because of those values. And I just can't wait to see what it looks like at an even greater scale.
We love the Givebutter community so much. We love the people that work within Givebutter. And then we would get this feedback from our community who just loved the platform, but even loved the experience and felt seen as tiny nonprofits, and it felt like you really embodied that everyone matters value of ours. But enough about us. We want our community to really get to know you. Max is not a stranger to the podcast. He's been on before, episode 99.
I feel like that's symbolic.
That feels like 100 years ago.
Yeah.
Yes, that was many gray hairs ago. But I want you to take us back. You know how it goes on the podcast. We want to get to know you, and we want to hear your story, and we also want to hear this evolution of Givebutter and how it came to be.
Sure, absolutely. I mean, y'all are coming up or just had your 5th anniversary.
This summer, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. And we're coming up on our 10th anniversary.
Crazy.
Which is
Double
wild.
digits.
Yeah.
I know.
Congrats.
And so I've been doing this a long time now. Started in my college dorm room with my 2 co-founders, roommates.
Stories never get old. I
Yeah.
love
So
them.
Good.
And
Hi, LaRon and Ari.
Hello.
Yeah.
We'd been fundraising all throughout our lives, growing up with the Jewish values of Tikkun Olam, repair the world, making the world a better place. And, I'm growing a mustache. I'm getting ahead of the Movember
Like you're
season.
fundraising
You're
on your
gonna
face
win
right now.
Movember.
Like you're literally
you are
fundraising.
on your face. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
It's crazy.
And it's just, it's not just about raising money too. It's raising awareness, like caring about something and doing something about it. And that's so core to our DNA of being a change maker, is you don't just see problems, you do something about them. And we believe everyone has that in them. And a lot of why we love Givebutter and started Givebutter was to enable that change maker to make the change they want to see in the world. And there's all this friction that gets in the way. And we just want to remove as much of it as possible. And we build technology, but that's just a means to an end. And that's why we're so excited about this partnership is, we can do that at an even greater scale by bringing not just the technology, but the community together to activate and do things together and make change happen. So it all started there in the dorm room. And
Arsenio
Just
Hall
so
in
you're
here,
aware.
which ages me because no one watched Arsenio Hall except for me back in the day.
We're all
so-
Googling who's Arsenio
yeah,
Hall.
exactly.
I mean, okay, Max, we're throwing it back. We just have been reflecting on this 5-year journey. And I remembered shooting you a DM because when we're starting, again, we didn't have like a network across the country, and we're checking out who's doing cool things. And we certainly, Givebutter caught our eye really early on. But I remember thinking, I'm just going to reach out to Max because I knew we would eventually meet you, hopefully from somebody, but I'm just going to DM him one day. And I'm like, hey, Max, love what you're doing. Would love to get to know you or something like that. I was really probably bad.
Awkward.
That's pretty par for the course. And Max replies in 2 minutes. Like it was 11:12 to 11:14 a.m. And you're like, hey, love what y'all are doing too. I'd love for you to meet our co-founders. And it's like we had a meeting on the books the next couple days. And I remember when we met, the vibes were just so good because we're laughing about startup life, but at a deeper level, like we saw the world the same way. The things that y'all were fighting for of democratizing access was core to our DNA. It's like, this is what we wanted to do from a content side. Y'all were doing from like a tool and how you thought about the product. Did you feel that? I mean, in the first email, or am I connecting too many dots?
Absolutely. I probably was like, oh my God, John McCoy's in my inbox. Freaking out, you know? I mean, from the day I first heard a podcast episode, I wish I knew exactly which one it was or saw your website. It was like an instant feeling of connection. The why behind what you're doing around democratizing access is exactly why we started Givebutter, was give everybody the tools and the resources to make change. And that was what you were doing through your conversations, the topics, the community that you've built over time, and opening that up to everybody so that they all can have a part of that. It definitely resonated, and we were just so excited to chat. And I feel like
we were trying to play it cool, but like
we were totally like, oh yeah, hi, it's nice to meet you, and like totally freaking out on text probably in the background. So
well, let's be honest, when you heard about Buttercup, you know, that definitely.
Oh my gosh, Princess Buttercup.
This is your dog. Let's be clear.
Yes.
Yeah, let's be clear. And she has her own Instagram that you should totally go follow.
Yeah, we need to bring the Instagram a little fresh life. But yeah.
You've been busy.
I've had a babysit. So
yes. Yeah. So I just want to say that I think we saw so much of ourselves in you two because we had worked for 20 years in this sector. And I was like, how is this a free platform? Mm-hmm. How is this free tech? Like, how is that even working? Because we had been nickeled and dimed, as so many people who have ever gone through the tech journey and nonprofit have experienced. And I remember we were asking you kind of about your long-term vision, and you're like, no, we're going to make it as free as humanly possible. And we were like, we want to keep our stuff free as humanly possible. We want to draw from that. And you all have iterated. Change has been constant for all of us over the years, but our theory of change, and it feels like our theory of change is that community is the way. And you had this incredible theory of change, but you've still evolved in it. Like, talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, certainly. From the beginning, it was just the three of us, and over time, we've been able to
yeah.
build the team that we have today. And one of those early hires was Floyd Jones, who
Flojo, we love you.
Him. Yeah.
Yes,
and love you too, Floyd. And that was such a fundamental moment for us where we knew about the potential of community through the tools that we were building, because we saw it every day through our customers. You know, the nonprofits using Givebutter were activating their community in the most inspirational ways that I never would have even thought of myself. We also started Givebutter around the time of the Ice Bucket Challenge. And so that was a big part of the, like, how do you activate your community and go viral and engage a younger demographic in your mission? And so we understood that through the lens of nonprofit work. And when Floyd joined, we started doing these webinars, and I saw folks literally doing dance parties on Zoom.
Like,
we should.
Have you been to a Floyd webinar? I mean, if you
were
to
a Givebutter webinar, they're just fun. I mean, the company is fun.
And that's exactly what we try to bring. Fundraising is hard, and there's no sort of beating around that bush, but there is definitely something to when something is fun, you want to do it again. And that is something that gets lost oftentimes, not just in technology, but in giving and in philanthropy and in fundraising and in raising awareness, is like, these things should be fun. We want to have fun. And giving feels good, and giving is fun.
I mean, you say that, Max, we've interviewed so many different people that when we have tech founders in, we tend to expect a certain flow of people wanting to talk about their product. And I remember episode 99 with Max, we didn't know you that well. And I kick it to you to say, I mean, what's a differentiator of Givebutter? Like, what really makes it unique? And the moment.
The mascot. I totally remember.
He's like, we have a mascot. Like, I'm just, That's the
Butter.
energy. But like, I think we've come back to this so much, like joy is a vibe. It's not a strategy. It's like a sustainability thing. It's how we actually find purpose and how we have better connections in our workplaces and with our donors. It's such a thing that's not leveraged, and y'all do this so well, and you've done it and you've baked it into your very platform. So I just think it's such a powerful thing.
Absolutely. It's about the name itself, Give
Right.
Butter, Give Better. It's a better way to give. It's for donors as well as the fundraisers. And what's not fun? Really expensive software that doesn't work well for you. And so
3-year
it's
contracts,
Yeah.
all
Oh
these
my
things.
God.
Yeah.
I love the way your voice dropped
I
when
know,
you
I'm
said
like-
that. It's like the fine print.
The fine print. I mean, it's pretty fun to look back because we didn't talk a ton about this in our journey, but as we found our way, we started offering different series because we saw our community. We talked to our community and the things that were pressing. We wanted to create content around that. And with Becky being really open about your personal mental health story and your nervous
When I
breakdown.
lost my marbles, which always when I say that, it makes John uncomfortable.
Very
but
uncomfortable, but
I'm
you're
great
comfortable
with it.
with it, so I try to
Very
flow.
comfortable.
But I think your openness of that discussion like really paved the way for really our candor around mental health in the sector and like how we want to have those conversations more in the forefront. And so as we brought that to life, I remember coming to Givebutter and asking y'all to partner. And it was like, it wasn't just like a yes, that fits our avatar and our flow for the week. No, we're like enthusiastically with you about investing in this for the sector. And that set the course. Like y'all's investment in that has allowed us to not only have those weeks, but over the years, y'all partnered with us on bringing Impact Up Pause to life and like actually creating a pause for changemakers. So what was it like for y'all to get to that yes, or why is that core to how you want to build a company and build an ecosystem?
Yeah, I come at that from a few lenses. On a personal level, part of the mustache growing endeavor is for Movember. And
Yeah.
that relates to a lot of mental health issues where there's higher rates of suicide in men. There's other issues that uniquely affect men, and raising awareness and money for those issues is something that I've been doing for a number of years. And so personally felt connected to it in a couple ways there. On a values level for our company and for the broader community, burnout is so prevalent.
Yes.
And I think COVID also really accelerated this in a unique way where it's not just about the work being hard and under greater pressure and fewer resources, but it's also like we're more lonely than ever. We're on remote calls or on Zoom. We're not connecting in the office or with our people the way that we used to. And people had to almost kind of like relearn those skills. I remember going to a social event, into
Totally.
COVID where it was like I
Yes.
forgot how to like talk to people.
My handshake has gone back to, I just don't know how to do
Yes.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I see, and then in our product too, so much of our what people use Givebutter for is events and fundraising events and galas, whatever we
Thank you.
Thank
for
you for seeing
representing the
us.
South.
Oklahomans are
Appreciate
gala
it.
people
Yeah.
apparently. And so, but that community tie is also so important to bringing people together for their organization. So there's just so many lenses that I think I see this being so needed in our sector, and it was just a no-brainer to support however we can.
I just think you live this. And so I want to take everyone on this journey back to May of this year and
The rogue email.
the rogue email.
The voice deepens.
We're
Mhm.
coming hot out of Impact Up, which was the hold fast Impact Up. And we get this email. And I want to know, what was the impetus of reaching out? Why We're for Good? Why now?
So this wasn't part of a broader plan or a master strategy that we were cooking up. It was like truly we saw what y'all were doing and we wanted to be a part of it. I talk to nonprofits all the time, especially this year where it's been really challenging. And there's a lot of questions about what do we do? How do we react to the situation that's unfolding? And y'all are leading that conversation from the forefront and inviting in opportunities for people to share the challenges. It's hard, we're acknowledging. And also what we can do about it and activating locally. And I think that we're just seeing that and excited about it. And so I was like, hey, I have this crazy idea.
It was
Have y'all
literally
ever
like
thought
that.
about?
Yes.
What if we did this together? Locked arms. I mean, that's one of the values, right? And I think that opportunity to do it, it was just sort of a flyer. Didn't know how you'd react. And now here we are. And I'm so pumped about it.
What you didn't know, I mean, you couldn't have known, is that we were at such an impasse that what got us to this point was not going to keep working. Like we were definitely going to personally burn out. Everything was working and nothing was working. I think the community had never been more vibrant. The activations had never been more vibrant. but we needed like a partner that could come alongside us to fill in the gaps that we didn't have. And honestly, it's like, how could we be whole by finding somebody? And so for your email to come in at that moment was such a sign.
We are an activating community. We don't want to just sit around these podcast mics and pontificate. We want to do the thing. And so I thank you for talking about like leading from the front and having these conversations. But what I think some people may not realize is we are evolving with you as we are listening. And we just had a recent episode that we talked about the power of nonprofit mergers and how they're not a dirty word. They're actually this powerful super unlock. And we had She's the First and Girl Rising on the podcast. And we're like, wait a minute, like a merger for We Are for Good is going to be a most powerful thing. But that value alignment has got to be so in sync. And I remember both of us being so convicted in this merger process about we have to be bought into each other's values. And I just want to say that Locking Arms for Impact is opening these avenues for new growth. And that is what we are seeing for both of us, not just for Givebutter, but also for We Are for Good and vice versa. And at the end, the person who benefits is the change maker. And that's who we're here for, is the one on the front lines.
And can I mean, this is how small the world is. Like, you have been a personal She's the First donor for,
I know,
since we met him on the podcast.
Now I'm a Girl Rising monthly donor. I'm so excited about it.
Can we peel back one more layer that they're part of the Givebutter family already? This is what's been powering those missions behind the scenes. And so I just think that's an example of what it looks like when you bring all of the best together, And I think that's what we see with this too, is we're not changing. We're actually going to be able to become more of who we are because we can all lean into our own unique superpower. We can be more focused on the things that not only bring us to life, thank goodness, but also what our community, what they care about and how we can move in that way. And same for Givebutter too.
I think in the email, or at least in the conversation following the email, I mentioned 1 + 1 = 3.
Yeah, I remember that too. I think it was the email.
Been kind of a life motto for me. And then John one-upped me with 1 + 1 = 11.
Because I'm a designer. I'm like, I see the 2 1s, the 3.
Oh my gosh, of course you did.
Because we're standing side by side. I don't know.
Of course.
As ones.
Yeah. Big believer. Some can be so much greater than the parts.
Yeah.
So like,
good.
John, when you look at this, like from a 10,000 foot view, like what are you seeing this means for community?
I mean, it gives me so much hope because we can finally deliver on this vision that felt outsized for what I knew we could do. I got more belief with the community around this, but I also felt limited of like, how do we democratize access for change makers on a global scale? Like, how can we actually step into that?
Goosebumps.
But with a team of intelligent people that care deeply, that are value aligned, that are willing to try stuff, that are willing to invest. Let's talk about like literally investing in making this community more accessible, more available, more responsive, more all the things that we hoped we could be, but we were limited by our own whatever.
Time. Ability.
Yeah,
like,
insert word
resources,
here.
all of it.
So I'm really excited about that there's a home that you can feel seen, but you can also feel hella supported.
And empowered to like leap. I felt like that was such a theme of the last episode, is like, we just want you to leap.
Yeah.
We want you to try. And now you can have a one-stop shop for all of this. I mean, how is this going to help Givebutter reimagine community?
Oh, so many
Max?
ways. I mean, just talk about the in-person meetups. We're so excited to connect in person in more places. We have butter slices, we call them, team members at Givebutter.
Of course they are.
30 states
Really?
at this point.
Yes.
Amazing.
All spread across the country.
Spread. We see what you did there.
So many puns.
Yeah.
And the world. We're in a
Yeah.
couple countries as well. And it's really exciting to be able to offer the opportunity to connect locally with each other, with the broader community. That whether you use Givebutter or not today, it's not really the point. It's, hey, this is an opportunity to join forces and do something about the opportunities we see to make the world a better place. And if we can remove any friction in that process and bring community along in doing that, that's a win.
I mean, so we've teased a lot that this is all about values, but I want to like talk about values because y'all have amazing values at Givebutter. We have ones that we've threaded through hundreds of conversations. We hear our community speak it back to us. But I want to talk about that values are really only meaningful if you're living them, not if they're just
Yeah.
like on placards. How do they show up? I don't know what that's bubbling up for you, B. I mean, as you think about the values that this is allowing us to lean more into as a result, what is...
I think I'm just thinking about what happens when you get in value-aligned community. Like John and I would even say maybe Julie started this. Julie moved to New York City and like chased her dream and found her people in her place. And John just did this 2-year road trip, 48 states.
I haven't announced where we're moving yet.
Yeah, I'm not
Tease
going
that
to
out.
announce it. I'm not going to. But you've landed where you're going to land.
Yeah.
I've landed in Colorado, and I have seen myself come alive in ways I've not seen in decades. And I've watched my family come alive. And what happens when you get in value-aligned community is that's it. You come alive. And so I want to talk about these values. I'm going to kind of test you both.
Okay.
And I want you to lift, as we're having this conversation, of value that is really bubbling up for you within John, the We Are for Good community, Max, within the Givebutter community. I'm going to start with Max.
So our values are be awesome, be butter, be change makers. And then we have a bunch of leadership principles, we call them, that kind of underlie, okay, what does be butter even mean? Which is a fair question.
Yeah. What does it mean? We should know this.
And hopefully it's salted. Great. Okay.
Quiz is going back to you in a second. Yeah. No, so be awesome comes to mind just in the sense of think bigger is the first one under there. And that's how we got here, was think bigger. How do we raise the stakes? How do we set ambitious goals? And honestly, I hate using this word, but like manifest, something really awesome and cast that vision out and then make it a reality. And that's the first one that comes to mind and how we got here. But then people first is one of our values as well.
I love that one.
And of course, how we got here was listening. It's this crazy concept. We listened. And from the very beginning, it was building something that provided value and taking that feedback and iterating and iterating and iterating and iterating over and over and over again until we got to where we are today. Mm-hmm. And I believe that's just what's going to continue to propel us into the future. And that's a very people-centric thing. It's just hearing what people have to say and how you can improve their lives. And then if I can I do a third?
Of course you can.
Keep going. We're loving this.
Boss, go for it.
So be the change. And that's just core to the change maker idea of you see something, you do something about it. And again, give butter, give better. Who's the giver here? Is it the donor? Is it the fundraiser? It's everybody.
Yes.
It's everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, that makes me think of our community as everything. I know we say it a lot, but it means so much because it's about not who has the mic, but it's like, how can we share the mic? How can we grow the table? And I just think of like how much, I don't want to say butter, how much better we are because of how the table has grown, because of like the perspectives that have come in. But it is listening. If you're just in community but not listening, if you're the only one talking, that's not really community, but like the power of listening is a great unlock. And so I feel so much alignment. What's bubbling up for you as one?
The one that's bubbling up for me that I don't feel like we talk about very often is cultivate and mobilize rabid fans. You have believers all around you. Your mission has so many believers right now. They may not be presenting as, what you're looking for in terms of a major gift or your gala chair or whatever you're looking for. But there are people that believe that have currency that we have not valued completely. If we're only valuing the gift they can bring, the financial gift, we're leaving so much on the table. We're leaving network effect. We're leaving story. We're leaving their lived experience. We're leaving their ability to show up and volunteer. And I think this is the time. We're in such a weird season in life and in our world, and the paralysis is so real. And I think this is the time that we're calling you to activate yourself, to activate that rabid fan, to call them in to this bigger idea because you already care about the same things. They came to you because they believed in your values. They believed in what you're doing. That is the basis and the nexus of this relationship. And so now is the time to get up, get back on the field, understand that you have a unique role to play in this world that no one else can play, as do every one of your believers. And now is the time. And now we've got this momentum. You have literally the platform, you have the tools, you're going to have the free community, the ideas, the integration, the events, the gatherings, and you don't have to be a member of an association, or you don't have to have 5 different, what do we used to call those? The flair?
It's like the ribbon.
The ribbons
flare.
at the conferences that give you legitimacy. It's like, come as you are. You have something unique to bring. Everybody does, recognizing that we're about to build some movements. We're not just about to unlock giving, we're unlocking generosity, and we're unlocking the people in it.
So good. I mean, actually, a conversation on the podcast is lifting for me. It was in the early days with Susan McPherson, and you got to look her up and read her book,
Susan
The Lost
McPhee.
Art of Connecting. She's incredible. But she taught us just the power of partnerships when we stop at just thinking at the money aspect, even in like the corporate sense, like what you're leaving off the table when you don't think about the employees, like how that could be unleashed from a service perspective, and how it could be maybe unleashed from like, what's their superpower? Maybe it's tech. Like getting creative is how we have to move forward, because the world's evolving and we're dimensional. Like people are more dimensional than just the line item that they can give. So I love that we're talking about this. It's always about the people. And there's so many people of our story that we would love to lift. And I just want to give a moment to ask, who's a person that maybe represents this journey that we want to kind of give space for and reflect on how they change
We're
this.
going to talk about the people.
People.
You're going to make me pick a favorite child. You hate this. You hate this exercise.
You should start. Go for it.
Okay. I do have someone that's percolating up. There's an incredible woman who I know is listening to this episode, Crystal Clark.
Oh my gosh.
At Stop Soldier Suicide. I remember getting this DM from Crystal back in I think it was 2022. So we were maybe 2 years old at the time. And it was on LinkedIn, and it was so kind. It was like, hey, you don't know me, but I have been binging your podcast and I'm getting so much out of it. And I've realized that I don't want to keep it to myself. And so I've started taking notes and dropping those nuggets into our Slack channel for our team. And we begin to socialize them. And from there, we built this friendship, and she starts taking them from Slack into meetings. And they start putting Cornerstone part of the meeting in there. And then we start meeting all these Stop Soldier Suicide employees. And the mission is just so powerful. And then Crystal starts to grow. And she has a team of 14 or now. I mean, she's in donor engagement. She is the head of donor engagement. And the way that she has unleashed their community and the innovation that they have created has been so inspiring to us. But then Crystal also raises her hand and hosts Impact Up DC, several times. And so to get to meet her, we went to the DC meetup in April of this year, and to hug her and feel like I had known her for years, and to watch the evolution of her mission and that mission go from something that was powerful to something that was so utterly vibrant was so inspiring. So she's the one that's popping up for me. What about you, Max? Who's popping up for you?
I have to pick our very first .org sign up through our newsletter, Daphne at Humans for Education. She, going back to the theme of listening and also trust, really was so inspirational in the early days of how we shaped and built Givebutter, was so gracious with her feedback. And it's been so hard to scale that too as we've grown, across so many different types of users, nonprofits. All 70,000 nonprofits have used Givebutter. And
holy crap.
Wow.
How do you scale listening at that size and channel that feedback? And we just had a product launch event where we had 16,000 customer requests resolved, 200 new updates to the platform, and anyone can go on and request a feature and upvote it. And it's democratizing that ability to give that feedback. And Daphne was such an inspiration. And okay, how do we take this beautiful thing, which is, an amazing grassroots nonprofit organization that's building schools in Kenya and empowering youth, and bring that same feedback loop and trust that gets built over time from, hey, I have an idea or something that I'd like to see in the platform, and closing that loop and bring that to everybody. And, Daphne's been with us from the very beginning. You never forget your first supporters, your early adopters, and rabid fans. And so I always think about her.
Max likes rabbit fans. Great. Okay, I'll let that one go.
I can't wait to meet Daphne and hear her story.
I know. Okay, who's yours?
So I think you teased that in the early days we had just Zoom meetups on Fridays. It's like we were trying to get to know people, and we just power it up. You never know who's going to hop on Zoom. And there was this day that a guy named Simon joined from Jinja, Uganda, literally on the other side of the world. And this was probably in the first 12 months for sure.
For sure.
And so Simon runs a nonprofit there in his community. He has a beautiful family, Sarah and his 3 boys.
Hi, Cindy and Cyrus.
Yeah, they have slowly become just like family for We Are For Good. And so as Simon poured into the content of the podcast, he would keep reaching out and he's like, this is literally changing my life. And it's changing my village. And it's changing the people that I can share these ideas and these resources with. And so a few years later, when we launched Impact Up, when we shot out the email to like, who's going to host a meetup? Of course, Simon wanted to host a meetup, but I don't think my brain went there. But Simon replied and he's like, I want to do it in Jinja. And he didn't just take it as like a challenge or something. He took it as, this is my way to spread this belief that I have and how this has changed my life and has changed my organization. And I want to change the continent of Africa. And in that first meetup, he gathered 200 people.
After a monsoon. Do you remember that? It had
was
like rained
pouring
so
rain. If you
hard
look
all
at
day.
The photos, like they waited for the rain delay and they got together 200 people. And then a few months later, we had our next Impact Up. And not only had a couple countries come in, but like 5 or 6 countries had come in. And then the next meetup, a few more countries, to where he now has more than 20 countries across Africa represented at this meetup. And I was catching up with him the other day. And if I'm lucky, his wife, Sarah, will hop on in the background for a minute. I'll get to see hi to his kids. And they said, we believe that we're going to build the next generation of nonprofit leaders here in Africa. And we have a vision to reach 20,000 leaders. And I have no doubt that that's going to happen. Like Simon believes, and that's the power of belief and this through line of how you can, just by opening up the door, growing the table, everyone has something to offer. It changes you,
Simon is representative of everyone who's in this community. And people ask us, how did you build this movement? And I want to tell you the secret formula. And it is one person, one conversation, one-on-one. Start there. Seeing somebody, seeing who they really are, holding space for them, hearing what their problems are, hearing what is important in their life, having that human connection. And from that, if we can just help each other and resource each other a little bit, or just hold space for each other, something shifts in us as human beings. And Simon and Crystal and Daphne, they are the movement. It started with one person, and every one of those 3 people that we just mentioned brought in so many people into Givebutter, into We Are For Good, because they believed. And that is what we are unlocking here. And that is the power of what I feel like our 2 companies and these 2 belief systems coming together is going to unlock so much for the world, for people that are not even in the nonprofit space, people that are parents, people that are community organizers, people who give a crap about something in this world enough to show up for it, to give to it. And that is what we are emboldened to unlock. So, okay, we're starting to wind down a little bit. And you know how we wind down, Max. You've done this before. We're going to start getting into our one good thing. So, John?
Yes.
I mean, this is a really big freaking deal. This is such a big moment for us. This is such a big moment for Givebutter. And when I say us, I'm talking about the whole community. How are you going to distill this down to one good thing? I can't wait to hear it.
I want to relieve the pressure that I'm not. Okay. It's not going to be that.
We all exhale. Great.
I would say what's lifting for me, I try to leave this open to just get a read for how I'm feeling in the conversation. But there's a superpower in encouragement. And we were at a staff retreat a year ago. Shout out to Jeff Shuck and Jennifer Mulholland. Thank you for giving us the clarity we needed in that time and space. But it became this through line that is I love encouraging people. It's part of my DNA. I feel better, they feel better. It's just a way to show up. But what stuck out to me in that moment is Jeff said, you realize that is meaning that you're passing on courage to someone else. And I just think back to our journey of the people that have spoken out, this helped me, this changed me, this opened up this for me. The gift of that is passing on courage. And it's never in our lifetimes do we need more courage than to show up right now And we can do that. We can literally encourage each other in community. So I don't know, a little cheesy, but a little bit that's on brand for me, I guess.
You are so good at that. It really is your superpower. I can tell you that I feel like you've been saying we've been together for about 20 years. And that's been
forever.
like 8 years of saying we're almost been together 20 years. But I have been the beneficiary of John's encouragement and courage for over 20 years. And so I love that you put that in there. Max,
what you got?
Yeah, what's your one good thing?
Okay, John, it's dairy, Jason.
Oh, God.
Oh, it
I'm
was
here
right
for the
there.
puns.
He took it.
I'm
Yep,
so here for it.
the puns.
Thank you. So I've referenced being a dad a couple times. I feel like I have to just bring it home one more time, which is, and last time my one good thing was a productivity hack. So I think this one, is maybe taking a different tune. But
I was totally trolling you in that last episode with that comment, by the way.
I got it and I loved it. Thank you for that.
Right.
Yeah, it's just we're launching this on her first birthday, and it's just
Rosie's birthday.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. We were all having dinner, like reflecting on this moment last night. And I think we had that recognition that, is this literally happening on the same day as Rosie's birthday? Like, that's awesome. It's so cool.
And she's my why, It's like, I want to make the world a better place for her. And I think that's what we all want, to leave the world better for the future generations. And it's really hit home for me. We're coming up on 10 years with Givebutter. I'm like, what do the next 10 years look like? And I can't wait for her to watch this episode one day and say, hey, you can do whatever you want. You can make the world a better place.
I want that. I want the world to feel like a beautiful place where any of our kids can roam. So,
I mean, B, you're not going to escape giving a one good thing. What you got?
I've used this quote so many times, but I think it's become like a heartbeat and a mantra for me. There's a brilliant, sort of philosopher and theologian and just good human who passed away in the 80s named Howard Thurman. And he has this quote that just hits me every time. And he says, don't ask what the world needs. Ask what makes you come alive and go do that.
That's cool.
The world needs you to do what you do best. And so in this moment, maybe because I'm feeling like I'm coming alive again and coming out of whatever sort of darkness I feel like any of us are ever battling in our lives, I feel like I'm coming alive. I feel like it's coming out in my writing. It's coming out in the way I connect. It is coming out in We Are for Good. I see it coming out in Givebutter. And I'm like, the world is waiting for all of us to step forward and say, this is our moment. We're going to do what makes us come alive, and we're going to watch the vibrancy ripple into communities that we couldn't even imagine that we could have gone there on our own. But this ripple is going to carry us. And so that's what I want people to unlock. Find what makes you come alive. Don't ask your boss what they need. Don't ask your spouse what you need. Ask yourself what you need and come alive.
Dang.
Boom.
Wow. While this is certainly chapter 2 of the We Are for Good story, it feels like it is a new beginning at the same time. Like, we're so enthusiastic, so happy to be here, Max. Thank you for your belief in us. Thank you for your team's trust in us, and for just seeing us, from the DM to signing papers that made this official. Like, we're so excited to be here and for our community to be here. And we've never wanted to do this alone. And that's certainly the story, is that we're doing this with our community. So we're so excited for our community to get to know more about what's happening. Like, we've put together a full release. We've got blog posts. You've got this episode, because we're excited to unpack, what does this mean in a lot of different spaces and where we're headed next.
Max, I want to thank you and Givebutter. When you came in and talked about, hey, would you be open to exploring partnership? You couched it and said, we don't want to change a thing. We want We Are for Good to do exactly what it's doing. We don't want to control it. So thank you for coming in and saying, you're good enough as you are, and keep going. And we're going to put that on fire. So thank you for that. And I want to make sure that people understand that you have the power and you are the architects of what is going to be built moving forward. You are bringing the lived experience, you're bringing the expertise, you're bringing all the little hiccups, and this is for you. We are in it in lockstep. This is not about John and Becky. This is not about Max. This is not about Givebutter, We Are for Good. This is about all of us. And we need you to come into this, to tell the truth, and to build a new era of generosity and philanthropy. So this is your invitation. Come in, celebrate with us. We're going to take a hot minute and celebrate, and then take a long nap, and then we're going to get to work, because There are solutions out there, and there are ideas that we haven't unearthed, and there are stories within you that we want to tell. And we want to build to it. We want to celebrate with you. We want to hug you when it's hard. We want to hold space when you need to heal. And we want to get you going to live your best and most vibrant life and to spread generosity as far as it can go.
So, I mean, just to get really clear, the core things are not changing. The community that you know and love will continue to thrive. You've given us the belief that what we started is going to continue to ripple. That's very core. So the podcast goes on, and we've got the community that gathers in all the different ways, from Impact Up to just showing up for each other virtually in between. And of course, we have some new ideas up our sleeve. We haven't even fleshed this out because we're listening. This is a great time in our community to start asking, what do you dream of? Where's the next step for We Are for Good? How can we show up to better support you?
You know, we want to enable and empower and support this community. And so exactly, it's listening, it's trust, it's trust building. You know, trust is earned, not given. And we know that. And so we recognize we're coming in. You know, we've sponsored many times We Are for Good episodes and Impact Up. And hopefully we're not a foreign, name. But if
No way.
you're not familiar with Givebutter, we're excited for you to learn more. But it's also about, again, how can we continue to enable and grow and support the amazing, amazing community and content that you all are building, and just go bigger. And so we wanted to get the news out as soon as we had it to share. And, we're going to take the rest of this year to dream even bigger for next year. And I can't wait to see what that looks like and come on in a year and say, whoa, look at what we did. It's going to be awesome.
Or in 10 years, holy smokes.
Yeah.
I
Oh my
mean,
gosh.
this is day one. This is literally day one. You are at the forefront. We are pulling together our communities. We are pulling together everything that we know, but we're pulling together our heart to serve you in a way that works for you. It is free. It is empowered, and it is belonging. So thank you for believing in us. Givebutter team. Let's flip
Yeah.
that pyramid and change everything. Let's do it.